back to our channel, Treats to
to
Try
Try.
with
Rob?
and Rye. So, we have some hints for the theme of today's video. Obviously, it's the green sweatshirt I'm wearing, and St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Just kidding, it's July! 4th of July, if you guys didn't know. So,
We're making
sugar cookies!
red, white, and blue.
Flag.
You made it look like a flag.
Yeah! So, today's recipe was fairly easy. It took, what do you say?
I mean, maybe an hour and a half, but
From start to finish, with
took maybe
decorations
like,
and everything.
yeah,
Cooking,
10 minutes, 15 minutes to mix the dough, cook 10 minutes, cooled
yeah.
5, but just rolling them into sugar took the longest.
Yeah, so pretty easy, and you don't have to decorate them like this. You can also just ice them, but
And
this
put
is how we
sprinkles.
did them. So if you guys want to learn how we achieved this final result, just keep watching.
Easy one. For today's ingredients, you're gonna need a cup of sugar just over, so a cup and 2 tablespoons, but I just made a heaping cup. You need a teaspoon of baking soda, half teaspoon of salt, half teaspoon of baking powder, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 3/4 cups of flour, 2 sticks of butter or margarine, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Okay, so now we're gonna add our 2 sugars. And then cream that together with all of the butter. So we're just making sure to scrape the edges and the bottom just to make sure that everything's mixed in and that there's no sugar or butter stuck to the bottom.
Now we're going to add our egg. And about 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Guesstimating, but probably you can measure if you want. 1, 2. Sometimes it's good to crack your egg ahead of time, but just keep an eye out for shells.
So now we're gonna mix in our dry ingredients together. So we're gonna take our salt, baking soda, and baking powder and add that all to our flour mixture and then give that a good mix. Now we're gonna add that dry mixture in with our wet mixture. So now we're just gonna mix this all together until it forms a ball in the bowl. Voila, beautiful dough. All right, so now we're just working on decorations, and we have a bowl of sugar and we're gonna dye that blue with food coloring.
It kind of exploded on me when I was opening it. Just get a couple drops in there.
And then for the red, we just have already some pretty finely milled sprinkles, so we're just gonna use that and put them in a bowl. And then for the white, we're just using pure white sugar. All right, so to scoop out our dough, we're just using this handy little scooper. Makes it really easy to make like really symmetrical balls. But you can just use a tablespoon if you want. And now we're just gonna scoop our cookie dough balls. So you're just gonna take probably around that much and plop it into your hand and then just roll it around to get a nice little ball and then place it on your tray. So now we're just gonna take these balls and roll them into the different colored sugar. So how we're gonna do it, we have them lined up on this tray kind of to get an idea of how we're gonna decorate them because we're gonna make a flag. We're not gonna cook them like this because that's not enough room for them to expand. But, so we're just gonna do a couple of blue and then the rest red and white. And we're just gonna roll it around in the sugar. But you can also just decorate them with icing if you want to. It's really up to your preference. Okay, so now we're ready to put our cookie dough into the oven. And our oven is preheated at 350 and we're gonna put them in for around 7 to 8 minutes. You just want the edges to be lightly brown and that's when you know they're gonna be done. Ours might cook a little bit faster just because we have a convection oven. So we're just gonna keep an eye on them and then pop them in.
Had them in about 10 minutes, so they're really puffy and then they just start to flatten, just barely a little brown on the edge. So. Taste test.
My favorite part.
They're very chewy, which I like a soft, chewy cookie. Oh, yeah.
Okay. I like them.
Very soft. Might have been able to cook them another minute or two.
Yeah, but they're honestly, I thought that putting the sugar on the outside would make them like too sweet.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty good still.
The outside edge is kind of a little crunchiness to it, but the inside is really kind of soft and tender.
So our final thoughts. Overall, I think they're really good.
Very good.
And it's something really easy that you can make. Doesn't have to be for 4th of July. You can just make normal sugar cookies. I think this is a good staple.
Do you think you'd like them bigger?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I like eating
Big
more.
cookies.
Because
It's easy to have 4 of these with a nice cold glass of milk.
Oh yeah. Because if you make like one big one, then you can just say, oh, I just had one cookie. But then if you eat like these size, you'd be like, oh, I had 20 cookies.
Now I made 30. So depending on how many people you're having, but people are gonna have 2 of them.
Yeah.
I need to make 2 batches of them.
Yeah.
But you could play around with decorations and with mixed sprinkles. We talked
Yeah,
about
we were
mixing,
gonna do a few that had red, white, and blue all on one cookie.
Probably just, yeah.
Yeah, but we
could
didn't
just
have
do the
enough.
red and the blue with the white in the
Yeah,
background.
some mistakes.
Or put some sprinkles on them afterwards. But
Yeah.
oh, you talked about mixing in those.
Yeah, like bigger, chunkier sprinkles if you mix them in,
Not
kind
the
of.
sugar, but the sprinkles.
Yeah, kind of like a funfetti cookie.
Yeah.
But
with red, white, and
sprinkles.
blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm giving it a
4 out of 5.
yeah.
But they taste so good. So maybe
Maybe 4.
4.5 out of
Yeah.
5.
4.8.
4.5.
8.
4.89.
5.
Out of 5.
All right. So, always subscribe to the channel.
Yep. Go follow our Instagram, which is treats_2_try. And like and subscribe. So, hope
See you
guys
next time.
enjoyed the video.
Happy 4th of July.
Bye.